This is the condition of the Crank1 Carbon series brake pad. For comparison, this is the carbon brake pad and this is the sintered brake pad. Both are from Crank1, and you can see the amount of friction material is left in these pads. It's very less. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to install this Crank1 brake pads on my RS 457. As you guys know, previously I installed the Crank1 Carbon series brake pads and it has done 2000 kilometers with that brake pad, and let me tell you, the brake pads are done with its life and it's time to change the brake pad. You might think that the brake pad has lasted for very less number of kilometers. That's exactly true. With the Brembo sintered brake pads I was using previously, I used to get 5 to 6000 kilometers of life, but with the carbon brake pads I got just 2000 kilometers of life. It also depends on the riding style of the rider, because I have been using this bike very aggressively since the time I installed my full system exhaust. The number of kilometers that it could have done in a normal scenario would be around 30% more, but because of my riding style it lasted just for 2000 kilometers. And let me tell you, it is like slick tires. So slick tires has great capability, it sticks to the road really well, but has very less number of kilometers of life. That's true for these Crank1 carbon brake pads as well. And hence I reached out to Crank1 company and I asked them to send me this Crank1 sintered series brake pad. So this brake pad costs 2150 rupees, and you can see the features. It says longer lifespan, heat resistant, excellent stopping, and sintered brake pads from Brembo cost around 3000 rupees in the market or the KTM showroom. But in the Aprilia showroom it costs 5500. So this sintered pad is the cheapest. It costs just 2150 rupees, and hence I wanted to test it. So Crank1 has sent me two of these. So you can see both of these are the front brake pads, and I am going to use one of the brake pad set right now, and whenever I'm done with this brake pad set I'm going to use the other brake pad set. So yeah, I'm super excited to install this brake pad. So let's go ahead, and this is going to be a DIY video. I'll open the old brake pads and show you the condition of those as well. To open the brake pad, no need to unmount the caliper. I just have to remove this nut, and after this nut is removed, I can remove the brake pads from here. To open this nut, I am using this star Allen key, using this ratchet set. So I'll open it like this. This entire screw is removed. Now I need to pull it out. First I'll have to remove this safety clamp. So this clamp has to be removed, and then you can make use of a cutting plier to pull this out, because this is a little hard. So I'm holding it like this, and this clip came outside. This clip needs to be installed whenever I'm installing this. So this is how the screw looks like. You can consider it a DIY video how to change the brake pads. And now let me remove these brake pads. This is the condition of the Crank1 Carbon series brake pad. So you can see the Crank1 Carbon series brake pad is silver in color, whereas the sintered brake pad is rose gold in color. The organic brake pads will be black in color. And see the life. There is no life left at all. Even the wear indicator is gone. Everything is gone. So this was the condition at 2000 kilometers. So I installed these brake pads when my bike's odometer reading was around 20,500, and now it reads 22,500. So yeah, now let me open the new brake pads. These are the new Crank1 sintered brake pads. The color is exactly same like the Brembo sintered brake pad, but it is from Crank1, and you can see the friction material over here. It is a very nice and great quality product. For comparison, this is the carbon brake pad and this is the sintered brake pad. Both are from Crank1, and you can see the amount of friction material is left in these pads. It's very less. After the brake pads are removed, we need to push these pistons back. If we don't push these pistons back, these new brake pads cannot be installed because the old friction material was rubbing and these pistons came outside. We need to push them back into place. I'll have to remove the caliper also, and then I'll have to push the pistons inside. Let's remove that. So to open that, I will need a 10 mm bolt. So this is the 10 mm bolt. So these two bolts have to be removed. So this is the caliper, and you can see the pistons out there. It's outside. So what I'll do, I'll use these old brake pads to place it inside and make some gap. So I have placed the old brake pads, and I'll put a screwdriver in between these brake pads and push it like this. So you need to push it gently so that the piston goes inside. You should be careful. You should not damage the pistons. Now can you see all the 4 pistons are inside because I have pushed both of them. You need to be very careful while pushing these pistons. Don't directly touch the pistons using the screwdriver. Once it gets damaged, then it will stop working and it will get stuck. That's why I used the old brake pads to place it inside and made that gap. Usually the technicians do it using a monkey plier, which is kind of a big cutting plier. It holds like this and then pushes it inside. I don't have that plier, hence I was using this mechanism. Now let's install this again, and then we'll place the brake pads. Make sure that it is tightened with enough torque. Now we need to place the brake pads in this position like this. Both of these brake pads, the friction material should be facing inwards. Place the left brake pads first. As you can see, I have installed both the brake pads and it is well lined up inside. Now it's time to install this screw and this lock as well as this plate. So first, place the plate like this. So you need to make sure that the plates are right in the place, and then hold this slowly. And once it aligns, it will go inside the hole. Now that it is aligned, I'll use this and place it inside like this. You need to make sure that this clip is below this bar, below the nut, and then tighten it accordingly. Now finally place this lock nut inside. The lock is in place. Now the fitting and everything is done, and it's time to take this out on the road and test how it performs. It's time to take out this beast and test the newly installed Crank1 Sintered Brake Pads. You can see the brake pads are here. These are rose gold in color, and let me take it out. I did ride it for around 2 to 3 kilometers, but right now I'm going to office, so I thought now is the best time to test it. The bike is already warm. Let me set the maps. For the initial impressions, I can say this is almost same as the stock brake pads, which are the Brembo Sintered Brake Pads. But the ABS is still intrusive even with this brake pad, and my brake fluid is already upgraded it to DROT 5.1. So in lower speeds and panic braking, the ABS intrusion is still felt. But good thing about these pads are they are way more cheaper and can last for around 5 to 6,000 kilometers. I think time will answer that, the life of the brake pads, but the cost is definitely less. Like 2,150 rupees is worth it. Yeah, this is same like stock brake pads. But I will tell you my comprehensive review sometime later. This is just the initial impressions.
But with the initial impressions also, you can go for these brake pads once your stock brake pads are done. There will not be any improvement in the braking, but the cost will be a little less. And right now my exhaust is with the DB killer, but still it has a lot of bass. Yeah, I can see the braking bite is there, no doubt it is there. And about the ABS intervention, at around more than speeds of 60 kmph, if you are above 60 kmph and you do panic braking, then the ABS will be less intrusive. Let's say if you are at lower speeds and then you do panic braking, then the ABS will directly kick in and increase the braking distance. For that, I would suggest switch off the rear ABS, then the front ABS intervention goes down. That's what I do when I enter the city speeds. Yeah, braking is good, no doubt it's good. Above 50 to 60 kmph, ABS is not intrusive. So yeah, that's about it in this video. And if you have gained some knowledge out of this video, do post your thoughts in the comment section below. And also don't forget to subscribe my channel, because it is free for you, but it definitely helps me a lot. With that, I will sign off from this video, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye.